grouped and came from different directions, their frenzied howls echoing. You're doomed. You're doomed. Those people won't make it in time to save you. I'm going to make you bleed. However, facing the bizarre creatures attacking from two directions, Wang Chung merely smirked. He didn't think he was doomed, because in his mind, the system prompt for the battleship upgrade was already in countdown mode. 15 seconds left until the battleship upgrade is complete. 10 seconds. 7 seconds. The arrival of Li Xinxing and the others bought him this last bit of time, delaying the advance of the bizarre creatures and the swarm of monsters. At this moment, the battleship was about to complete its upgrade. Wang Cheng's eyes sparkled with cold determination. Who would kill whom would soon be revealed. Chapter 96. Overlooking the battlefield. Wang Cheng, you should leave quickly. Li Xinxing and the others are here. Join them. You're a level 2 awakener. You can't die here. Su Ling's hands lost their glow, and she stood up, gripping her gun tightly, ready to help Wang Cheng reach the two bizarre creatures. In the arena, not only were there strange creatures, but other mutated beings from different directions were also surging forward wildly, their terrifying howls echoing as they advanced in waves. Although Li Xinxing and the others were approaching, they were still out of reach. However, before Su Ling could steady herself, she was abruptly pulled back by Wang Cheng. Losing her balance, her soft body nearly fell directly into Wang Cheng's arms. She was taken aback, and before she could say anything, she saw Wang Cheng lift the sunshade that was draped over one side of the vehicle. In that moment, Su Ling gasped in shock. Not only her, but at that instant, the spider-like strange creature and the hunchbacked one also had their pupils constrict. Because at that moment, as Wang Cheng lifted the sunshade, what was revealed was no longer the battered black sedan they had seen before, but a heavy and massive black beast. It was a large off-road vehicle, towering in the wilderness, its size almost 1.5 times that of the previous sedan. Get Xu Bing on board. Take off. Wang Cheng pulled Su Ling and immediately opened the car door, stepping inside with one foot. Dear host, your battleship has been upgraded, and the current level is 3. This time, Wang Cheng didn't have time to check the specific functions and upgrades of the level 3 battleship. The moment he boarded, he directly activated the sailing mode. The massive, menacing land monster suddenly transformed, shifting like a transformer, from a black beast parked in the center of the warehouse into a large black warplane. Its size had also expanded nearly 1.5 times, with 3 aircraft transforming into 5 warships. The interior became more spacious, and the overall shape of the battleship became more streamlined, with shorter wings and smooth diagonal lines. The dark fuselage had a half-submerged turbo laser cannon tightly pressed against the hull. As Wang Cheng boarded, the cannon instantly activated with a grinding mechanical sound. The turbo laser cannon platform slowly rising, its dark muzzle and the dim body indicating that this structure had evolved beyond that of a conventional fighter jet, approaching the form of a true battleship. In the cockpit, the central display had transformed into a large smart screen, with information cascading down like a waterfall. Main weapon. Turbo laser cannon is ready. Energy source is being scanned. No additional weapon energy modules detected. Defaulting to shared battleship energy module. Connecting. Connection successful. Battleship energy is sufficient, under minimum 1-hour sailing requirements. Can fire 51 times. Dear Captain, please issue the firing command. Let us see who dies today. Wang Cheng directly turned the joystick. The battleship had been upgraded to level 3, and the main operating system had not changed much. He could perform normal operations right away. At this moment, he turned the battleship, and the fangs of the turbo laser cannon extended. The dark muzzle was aimed directly at the 2 strange creatures that had just been attempting to charge at him, ready to take them down. At that moment, the 2 strange creatures were completely stunned, especially the spider-like one. It had many legs and was the fastest, and although it was still quite far away, it was closer to the battleship of the royal city than the hunched creature. The battleship revealed itself, almost directly confronting it, casting a massive shadow over it. Run. The hunched creature's face twisted in disbelief and fury, its eyes flashing with insane hatred. It realized that this was a conspiracy. Why hadn't that human used such terrifying things earlier, putting them in such peril? The answer was likely to trick them into coming closer, only to reveal the firepower and eliminate them all at once. Such deep scheming. What a great act. Inside the warehouse, the heavy battleship slowly moved, not taking off immediately, but the cannons had already lowered, aiming at the hunched creature, and opened fire without hesitation. Although the spider-like creature was closer, the primary target of the royal city was not it, but the hunched creature. The royal city was not foolish. From the moment they appeared until now, it was clear that this hunched creature was the leader among the strange beings. It was evidently a minor leader, and even putting that aside, the strange mechanical device it held was of great interest to the royal city. That object was certainly not an ordinary weapon. It was peculiar and didn't seem like military equipment. It was unclear how these strange beings had obtained it. Of course, The most crucial point was that the energy device on that weapon was clearly another irregular energy crystal. This was something the royal city had to acquire. They had deeply sensed the benefits of this item. Not only could it recharge the battleship, but it could also power the low-power turbine laser cannon at that moment. One piece was definitely not enough. If you delivered it to my doorstep, I would certainly accept it with a smile. However, the royal city did not fire immediately. Instead, using the onboard loudspeaker, they said, "Hey, I'll give you a chance. Surrender on the spot, and I will spare your life." The dark cannon pointed directly at the hunched creature. It turned to glance and was immediately filled with terror. All its previous arrogance and confidence vanished, and it began to run frantically. Meanwhile, the spider-like creature was momentarily stunned, seemingly not expecting the royal city to not target it. It suddenly became excited, its 8 legs frantically scrambling as it desperately tried to escape. The royal city did not actually want to kill the hunched creature. These beings were peculiar. They were intelligent, humanoid, yet had obvious mutated features. They seemed to have some organization, posing a significant threat to humans and the royal city. The royal city wanted to understand their origins, trace the leads, and capture them all to eliminate future threats. Unfortunately, it seemed they had no intention of surrendering. Terrified by the royal city, they fled in desperation. Seeing this, the royal city held nothing back. At that moment, Su Ling also boarded the battleship with Xu Bing. Xu Bing was in a deep coma, teetering on the edge of life and death, while Su Ling desperately covered her wounds. At that moment, she was in shock, staring at Wang Cheng's battle machine, which had transformed so dramatically, and said in disbelief, "Does this fighter really have nanotechnology? Not only can it repair itself, but it can also change shape?" Wang Cheng had no intention of explaining. His warship roared as it ascended. The upgrades were complete, all previous damage had been repaired, and the rear thrusters expelled scorching waves of heat. The anti-gravity technology emitted a deafening roar, and the low-power turbo laser cannon fired with a bang, shooting beams as thick as a wrist that pierced through the air. A mutated tank in front was blown apart, half of its body disintegrating with a charred edge. Amidst the frantic gunfire, Wang Cheng shot down a hunched creature on the spot, while his warship crashed through a warehouse. Outside the warehouse, Li Xinqing, Su Xinghai, and others looked on in horror as it swept across the battlefield, 2 missiles soaring through the air, directly blowing apart a spider-like creature that had managed to escape hundreds of meters away, scattering its flesh and blood everywhere. The once arrogant spider-like mutant creature didn't even make a sound as it fell, dying amidst a chaotic retreat, alongside countless ordinary mutated beings, turning the ground into a scorched pit. You have gained energy points. You have obtained a level 1 resource pack. You have obtained a level 1 resource pack. System notifications kept ringing. Wang Cheng's rifle bullets and rockets were nearly exhausted, but his missiles and turbo laser cannon could still fire. The turbo laser cannon swept across the ground like a meat grinder, with missile explosions booming, and the surrounding mutated creatures were slaughtered in droves. Leaving a bloody scene filled with corpses, Wang Cheng's warship swept through, cutting a bloody path, annihilating 2 bizarre creatures instantly. Countless surrounding mutated beings were shattered by Wang Cheng, with rivers of blood flowing and corpses strewn everywhere. Li Xinqing, Su Xinghai, and the others were all dumbfounded, their pressure instantly relieved, staring blankly at the colossal machine rising into the clouds. The warship roared. Wang Cheng's level 3 battleship ascended steadily, missiles launched in unison, and the turbo laser cannon flashed rapidly. Wherever it went, countless monsters were ruthlessly slaughtered, dominating the battlefield. Chapter 97, Level 3 Battleship. Li Xinqing, drenched in blood, stood frozen with his gun in hand, watching Wang Cheng's warship sweep through the streets, unable to speak. After a long while, he turned to Su Xinghai and said, "Mr. Su, what is going on here? I understand now. Brother Wang Cheng must be pretending to be weak to lure those intelligent mutated creatures into a trap, intentionally showing weakness to draw them out, and then take them all at once." Zhao interjected, attempting to analyze the situation. However, Li Xinqing frowned deeply, feeling that this war machine of Wang Cheng's was somehow different from before. Am I mistaken? Is that a laser weapon that hasn't even been officially deployed yet? It wasn't there before, right? It feels like this isn't just a feigned weakness. He has completely changed to a different fighter. Li Xinqing was undoubtedly more shocked by the turbo laser cannon. In contemporary times, laser weapons and energy beam weapons are among the research directions of various countries, and many have even produced experimental models. However, due to various limitations, large-scale production and deployment remain unfeasible. Li Xinqing, being a military personnel, has heard of similar weapons, but he has never heard of any being put into use. At this moment, everyone's gaze instinctively turned to Su Xinghai and others. Su Xinghai looked equally confused. After a moment, he scratched his head and chuckled, saying, "How is that possible? Where is it? This is clearly the same as before. Hey Zhang Chao, how are you doing?" In the sky, The battleship of the Wong city swept through, quickly lowering its altitude to approach the ground warehouse.